And hello, everyone. Welcome to Abraxas Precipice, the Expanse role-playing game. So we are down a few people tonight. Guys, it is the season for everything, apparently. I think Donna's sitting in line at Comic-Con, Mike's at work, and Clara's not feeling the best. So that's okay, though, because if you watched the charity episode last week, you'll know that Wyatt came up in that, so this will work out quite nicely. And Scott hasn't watched the episode, so this will all be new to him. The last week was awesome with Marduk Bow's debut. We raised $775 total. So thank you to everybody that donated. Thank you to myself for their generosity with the prototype and the like. So we have that all going on. Furthermore, what else is going on? We have, if you're interested in supporting our stream, there's some great ways to do that. One is our Patreon and our Ko-fi. You can just go and donate through that. Patreon, we got a lot of cool stuff on there. I have all the Marduk Bow stuff on there. I got a new Colonial vote, I think, dropping soon. I kind of need to advance the storyline. It's hard to do those when I haven't advanced the storyline much. So that's a great way to do it. Furthermore, we have all our merchandise. You want to get some shirts, another great way to do it. Cauldron Tower is awesome. We have Skate Wizard stuff now. That's been selling pretty steadily. People like the Skate Wizard stuff. I'm talking to Mike about doing a few more. He's got a few designs. So he has like a whole like wealth of art for that stuff, and I'm like, dude, we need to use a lot of this. And so he's very much been like for me to tell him what I think would work, and then him digging it up out of his files. So that's kind of where we're at with that. That's been a lot of fun. And I got the Culture of the Month coming up here, so if you're looking forward to those, they're awesome. We got some new, we'll say there's a new Abraxas Precipice one, which that's all I'm going to show you. That's all you get today is this, but it's a lot of fun. I'm going to be back on here tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I'm going to come on tomorrow. Maybe the afternoon, might be the evening, probably the afternoon. Talking about Soul System book. I was trying to go through it live. I was trying to do like an initial reaction to it yesterday, and my power went out midway through, so not even halfway through. But it's a pretty big book. I will say it's not as big as Beyond the Ring, but it's more dense. It's a very dense book. And I think the most interesting part about that book so far has been them talking about Sebastian Pope. And the question is like, Pope Enterprise still exists, but who runs it is a different question. Depending if you played Absolute Bounty, because like Absolute Bounty can end with him dying, it can end with him living, it can end with all kinds of stuff. We had our own ending, so it's kind of curious what's going on there, and kind of trying to mess with the canon a little bit here. But the book's really phenomenal, highly recommended, and I'm looking forward to talking about more tomorrow. Scott, man, what have you been up to, dude?
Just working off.
Yeah,
and painting. I don't know. I have like one thing over here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Got one of these.
Show off.
Geiger baby bullets.
Yeah, the Geiger bullets. Yeah, classic. They're very fun. That's been the season of the paint miniature, man. It feels like that's the time. All right, guys. Absolutely. Well, we're gonna run the opening credits, and then we are going to come back and play our game of the Expanse. We'll see you in a few minutes. Hello, welcome back. All right, so Wyatt, you things are dim, they're dark, a little painful. Like everything, your head, it's really kind of migraine thing, but just bright light, blurry, undistinguished, and you can hear a little bit of like some like low sounds, like murmurs kind of sounds and everything. Maybe a little feeling, little warmth, but that's your world right now.
Completely awake though, not out of.
You start trying to achieve like more consciousness and to be awake, and you can see that like there's some shapes, some colors are starting to emerge in the light, some colors, and you kind of see that like it's a very like solid colors, kind of like major panels, and you realize that you're like, you can start feeling your body a little bit better. You can feel that you realize you're prone. You're laying in like something soft. You're kind of a lounge position. You can hear a little bit of sound, some beeps and some of the electronic sounds, and you can hear someone saying, "You there, Wyatt? Like, hey, you there?" But you can't. It's hard to see the images. Your eyes still hurt. My kind of migraine type style. Yeah, but it's coming. It's coming back.
Can I move my arms or anything?
Yeah. You kind of move your arms. They feel really stiff. Remind you of like being strapped to a crash couch for like weeks at a time. But even worse than that, your fingers still tingle a little bit, but you can definitely feel them. You move your arms around. You can feel like the blankets. You can feel like there's like a blanket kind of softness sticking around you. But yeah, you're starting to move around a little bit. You're not constrained, if that's what you're asking. Like, you don't feel constrained.
My arm's still there, the cybernetic arm.
No, it is not. You don't feel you feel the arm initially, but then like you kind of realize it's not there.
Okay.
But your organic arm still, you can feel it kind of on the thing there. Yeah.
Do I feel like I'm stuck in something, or have I been?
No, you kind of feel like yourself moving around. You feel more of like what's restraining you more than anything is like your body just you want your body to move, but it just can't. It's just achy. It's like if you have like your leg goes to sleep really badly, kind of over your whole body, but you're slowly like feeling it out more and more. Your vision starts to clear a little bit. You can see that like there's definitely some lights in the room, but they seem like they seem really bright. The room isn't very big. It's decent sized. You're starting to kind of get your bearings on it. You can tell that it's one of the kind of portable buildings they have for Mason's Haven. You can hear the beeping when you're trying to make out as like some sort of like monitoring system for your vitals or whatever it is. You can see like you can't make out what's on the screen, but it's like a greenish screen next to you with different like things on it. There's someone there on and you kind of make out there's someone on a chair next to you going, "Why? Hey, you waking up there? You hear me?"
I'll do whatever I can to try to make a noise, I guess.
Yeah. What kind of noise do you want to make?
Just like that. Just like a moan. Old man's groan.
Okay. So you start, and they go, "Yeah, it's okay." Like, they're like, hold on, let me get you some water. And they like, someone like comes back over with like a bowl, like a kind of a cup up to your lips. You can feel your lips aren't chapped, but like you can like it definitely feels good to drink some water. And you can feel like your throat coming back into shape a little bit better. And they're like, "Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's all right."
So as soon as Wyatt starts to come to where he feels like he might be able to move a little bit, he's going to do everything in his power to get up to try to find the rest of the crew.
Okay. So you go to prayer, like, as you do, you hear the voice go, hey, take it easy, Wyatt, it's all right, it's okay. And there's like there's a woman there, you can tell it's a woman. She's wearing like a nice kind of suit and everything, not like nice suit, like a flight suit, kind of like, or just kind of like coverall type stuff. She's hanging out, and you get a kind of a glimpse of her face as you get kind of closer. You try to get up, and she kind of holds you down. She doesn't hold you down, she kind of pushes you back. Like, take it easy. And even then, you're having trouble trying to stand up, trying to get your balance, trying to get like oriented to the space. And you can tell that it's actually Director Janet Keith, the head of the colony.
Okay.
And she goes, "Hey, hold up, Wyatt. It's all right. It's all right. You're safe. You're safe. Everyone's safe. Okay."
Oh, I'll just start muttering like, "Where's the crew?" as best I
She's
can.
like, the crew's safe. Don't you're okay. Why don't we worry about getting you okay first here, getting you settled up and everything like that. Take it easy and just like lay back down and don't overdo it too quickly. And you can feel like you feel like there's tubes in your arm and everything. Yeah.
I'll act like I'm going to calm down, but internally, I'm doing everything I can to get fully awake, to get up and just move.
All right. Okay. So she kind of like she goes, hey, look, and you start coming, you can like see a little bit better. You can kind of see the stuff clear. Stuff still like is a little like bright for you, but you're catching it. And she goes, hey, how you feeling?
Been better?
Yeah, I'll say. Look, what's the last thing you remember?
I think the last thing he remembers will be stepping in the
tube.
The tube, yeah.
Yeah, the tube. And there was like you remember like a white light, blue bright white light, and she goes, "A tube? Okay. What's this tube? Was this part of down in the ruins?"
Yeah, like way down in the ruins, like maybe almost like a transportation tube.
Transportation tube. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And how far were you guys? Really far down? Was this towards the surface? Where do you know where you were in the complex?
At this point, I have no idea where we were at. I think we were farther down, though, weren't we? Really?
You guys were like you guys think you were toward the core of the planet.
Yeah. I'd like the best guess I have would be pretty close to the core.
Okay. So look, why don't we get you a little bit? Make sure you're hydrated. Your fluids look good. Your vitals are steady right now. You've had some trauma. It looks like here, from what we've gathered. But we want to
make sure. When the bomb went off, did it affect anything topside?
Look, we can talk about that a little bit later. Well, right now, let's make sure we get you stable, get you steadied, before we start dealing with like what's going on. But I can tell you that your crew is safe. They're being taken care of.
As bad as I am.
She kind of pauses for a moment and says, "Honestly, we think honestly." You were the first one we managed to find, and it wasn't under the best circumstances. Honestly, we think in rescuing you, the science team might have done a little more harm than good.
That's fantastic. Man alive, so I guess it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, does Wyatt have medicine? Do you have medicine as range skills? I can't remember.
No, I don't think no.
Yeah, she kind of goes, well, look, you suffered, during the rescue, you suffered a little radiation exposure. So we need to get your fluids going. We need to get you through some processes and everything like that to get you like tightened up. But yeah, you're the first one to wake up, we'll say. But your rest of your crew is they're safe. They're holding down. Vitals are good. They're alive. They're on the road to recovery.
Can I see them?
Well, that's going to be kind of a problem. Where they're currently isolated, we're kind of doing some strict quarantine with the individuals. And they're also not here in Mason's Haven.
Where are they at?
We had them taken to Star's Edge's facility. We did this because the state they were found in, much like you were found in, was not entirely the most, I don't know how to put it. We didn't really understand it. And Star's Edge has better facilities. better resources. We wanted to make sure we didn't have the risks that went associated with your rescue happen to them, if that makes sense. When we found you, so look, why don't you give it a moment, go over some stuff, but before there's there's like a lot of there's no screens on in the room, like there's no data pad and anything. And she goes, look, before I have you start looking for stuff or going out or anything like that, I need to be very frank with. We need to have a frank moment with you, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay. She says, "Well, look, you've been unconscious for a while, or well,
how long have we been gone?" Yeah.
Yeah, she goes, well, unconscious, we're not really sure if you were unconscious or conscious. It's hard to explain. Stars Edge seems to know more about it than I do. But you have been gone for, well, you were gone for about, we thought you were dead. You've been gone for about 6 months, and you've been unconscious for about, since we found you, for about 40 days or so.
The other crew has been gone for 6 months and are still unconscious?
As far as, yes, from our last reports and our last updates from Star's Edge, they're still being held. And once again, it's hard to explain. It's not that conscious, unconscious. It's more of a they use the word stasis a few times in describing your circumstances. Yeah.
I don't remember any of it, so
that would make sense. So look, I can. Why don't you take a second? See if you can stand up, move your legs a little bit, get some blood flowing again. You've been sitting still for a while. We've been treating you for some radiation poison that happened during the rescue. We don't think we dislodged you from your situation in the most easy way. The team was very, we'll say, they had a little more aggressive tactics that found you, but everyone's really happy you're alive. But we didn't recover cases. Do you know what happened to Case? With the last thing that happened with Lieutenant Colonel Barrick?
last thing I knew, he's taking the bomb to destroy the protomolecule.
That's what we figured. Yeah, we have no accounting of Lieutenant Colonel Case at this point. But the crew is clear. We have all four of you are accounted for. Both your security crews, Ralph and Sally, survived, along with one of the members of Star's Edge security team managed to get out as well. So,
what about the molecule? Was it found?
We haven't seen any signs of it, but we do know that there is a lot of radiation from the detonation still towards the core of the planet, and it has been coming out of different fissures on this side of the planet as well. So we're not sure how, as far as getting visuals on it, no. But your mission was successful. The wound on the jungle has healed up completely. There's no signs of it now. We take that as a sign that the protomolecule might have been abated.
Let's hope so. It's the last thing we want seeping through the earth.
I couldn't agree with you more. Well, look, why don't let me give you a moment here to get your bearings. Look, here's a data pad for you and everything. We will say this: we did find your arm, but it was completely fried. Whatever that the alien tech that kind of secured you didn't seem to have, we'll say, a priority for the safety of any of the technology. It seemed to only want to secure the bio.
Yeah, I'm alive. That's and the crew's alive, so that's the important part.
100%. Well, look, here's a data pad. Take a second to yourself, real quick. Acclimate yourself. There's some food over there if you want to grab something to eat. We'll have the nurse will come in probably about 30 minutes, check on you real quick, just give you a quick, eye on. Your eyes are feeling better, but like it still hurts a bit. Like you can kind of feel like the edges, like those little sharp edges around like your vision, your hearing, and everything. But it's starting to become like kind of a dull pain versus like a sharp pain, and she goes, but don't try to stand up too fast or anything like that. Just take it easy. And there's like a wheelchair there and everything. If you want to use that, there's also like a walker, kind of a walker wheelchair combo thing. It was like sitting. We're talking about the sitting walkers. Yeah. So something like that, so you can move around a little bit if you want to in the room. There's like a full-on bathroom over there, or you can just use the rig they have on the bed. It's up to you, but. Yeah, she kind of goes, let me give you some privacy and everything. And you're in like a paper gown type thing.
I guess some like clothes back or new clothes, something.
Yeah, there's a suit in there for you if you want to use it. We gather some of your clothes from your personal belongings here and everything too. But look, if you want to try to talk to anybody, communications are open right now and everything. But things have changed a little bit since you've been gone, but some things haven't. But overall, they're better.
What about the coyote problem that we were having? Is it?
Oh, the coyotes. The coyote problem slowly became Star's Edge's problem, and Star's Edge we've in collaboration with them. We've offered some solutions to help keep them away from our situation here. So. We've had a few runs with them here and there, but they haven't come near the bases, so that's a good sign.
Okay. I mean, can you contact Star's Edge and see if there's any updates about the crew? I'm really...
Yeah, sure. Well, we usually do a daily update and kind of communication with them. We're kind of check in. I'll be sure to schedule them and let them know you're awake, but we can go and dial you into a conversation with some of their med techs and doctors and such, okay? But that'll be in a little bit, okay, time. But take it easy right now, figure out what you need to do. Feel free to get some clothes, get some food, whatever sounds good to you, and everything. I don't think you should unhook that. It kind of points to like the IV setup and everything. But just make sure we're trying to make sure you stay hydrated. Everything going on, okay?
I'll leave it on.
All right. So she goes ahead and she she lets you figure out what you're gonna do and walks to the room and she's like, just give me a call if you need anything. But yeah, Director Keith walks out of the room. You're in this. It's a decently sized room. It's not huge. It's not like an ICU. You don't see like a lot of super medical gear around you. They do have an auto dock in there, but you're not hooked up to it right now, or you're hooked up to like a machine that's monitoring your vitals. But there's no like crash cart or something like that in the room. But yeah, you're just hanging in the room, and there's some clothes hanging there, some boots.
You try to put them on at least. I'll get completely honest if I can.
Okay. You kind of like give me a stamina test. Let's see how tough you are.
Is that under? What would that be on?
Constitution.
Oh.
How tough are you?
Let's see. 15.
15. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you managed to kind of set up here a little bit, and it doesn't do too bad. You can kind of stand up. You're having kind of trouble like going straight. You have a little bit of hobble, but you do manage to get across. In doing so, you come to the suit and everything, boots. You start trying to put them on. Takes you a little bit longer than you used to, but you do manage to do it. And it's not too bad. But yeah, you're all clothed up now. You're no longer just wearing the paper suit and everything. It's kind of nice.
Is there a chair in there instead of the bed?
Yeah, she was sitting in a chair. There's like a little table and everything. Yeah, definitely.
I would like to sit in the chair instead of laying down on the bed and go through the data pad and see what seems different from the last time I was awake.
Okay. So, here's what's going on. You kind of start digging through it. What do you want to look at first? Like, do you want to look at the local stuff in Mason's Haven? Do you want to ask about like what they know about the planetary stuff? Do you want to know about like what Star's Edge has shared? Do you want to know about what's going on in space? Or which elements do you want to look at?
I would like to learn as much as I can about where we've been, if anything has dramatically changed in that sense, and then how the colony itself is doing also.
Okay. So, so basically the story goes that Star's Edge and Mason's Haven decided to collaborate through science. They had a meeting. It was, we'll say, tenuous, but they decided to do a joint operation to test more of these fissures. So basically what happens when the nuclear weapon went off, these fissures formed on the side of the planet that started spewing out like dirt and crap and everything. And that's how they figured out that someone detonated a nuclear weapon down there, was the radiation. And essentially, the team they decided to join up as a team. They sent some drones down to get some measurements. It went okay-ish. The drones were kind of having trouble like returning because of the interference down there. So they sent down, the science team went down there in like deep dive suits. And in doing so, they actually managed to find you guys. They found a lot of the builder tech kind of pushed through the earth from the blast, and it was kind of splintered around. You guys, they found in these like glowing tubes, and they managed to like kind of dislodge you, at least you initially. And so these tubes they think are like some sort of stasis thing, like they were like in an emergency like stasis situation where they kind of isolated things. But they kind of just grabbed and pulled out while everybody else is wearing these like, deep dive radiation suits. And you got like a pretty heavy dose of radiation. Everyone else, they kind of managed to cut out and keep in the isolated chambers as they brought them out. But you got kind of dosed. And it looks like, but what they figured out though is like it did like fry everyone's like electronics, your data pads, your anything you had mapping materials that were with you on those be gone. They just got fried. So they don't really know what happened down there, but they do know you survived. They do know the nuclear weapon went off, but your gun, your gear, that stuff's not there. They're not really sure where any of that stuff is, but you guys managed to get out with your skin, as it would be. So that's kind of the story of how you guys got back, if that makes sense.
Does it say who saved us or who the team was that came back?
Yes, the team was a joint operation led jointly by Dr. Mel Holson and Medea Holtz.
I'll be kind of taken aback by that for a second.
Yeah.
And then I'll use the data pad to just send Medea a message that just said, thank you.
Okay. So Medea, and you have like in your queue, in your log, and you have like a whole kind of queue of things. People asking about you and stuff like that too. There's like a ton from the Sinclair that stopped. They kind of stopped off a few months back, and then they started up again this last month. The general thing is everyone just presumed you guys were all dead. After 6 months, they just presumed the nuclear weapon went off. They presumed you guys are dead. So everyone kind of gave it up. There's actually even like a monument to you guys now and shit in the town. They're debating if they should keep that up or not. But the Medea's shot you some messages just saying, that she'd like to talk to you maybe in the future. She's currently working as part of the medical team at Star's Edge on the rest of the crew. So she's not here right now. And I think that's. Was there anything else I should cover, or you want me to elaborate on?
Who's in control of the Sinclair right now?
Currently, you pulled the documents and you pulled this thing, and currently, according to the colony roster, we want to call it, it's currently under control of one Captain McMichaels.
I'll kind of like just giggle at that.
And you have a series of messages from McMichaels.
I'll look at it, see if there's anything.
The first ones are like, there's a few going to the general crew and basically saying like, come on guys, get back, and I hope you're not dead. And then there's some that are like really sad of him, like, leaving you a message when he's like drunk or some shit, or high or something like that. And then there's like these ones that like, they then kind of peter off. And then there's like a bunch in the last like month or so that are basically saying like, you guys are alive, call me as soon as you're done, all this kind of stuff. They're pretty all over the place. Not really any reports of like him doing stuff. But according to what you guys have, like the Sinclair is currently in orbit around the planet. They haven't really done much in the last few months. They've run a few like just runs to grab samples, or like the science team has asked them to do stuff, and it's pretty boring shit. There's been no reports from the ring. Nothing's come through. Nothing's gone out.
That's gonna be my next question, because we've been out what, 7 months total or something like that.
Yeah, you guys are out for 7 months, and the ring's been closed for close to almost to a year, or a year after before that. So like it's been almost 2 years. So nothing's changed on that front. There's been some talk about recommissioning the. They're really in debate what to do about Adrian Rogers. It's been kind of a debate, like should they recommission it or not, have it ready to go or not. But the problem though is like, then we have like put people on it. We have these resources on it. What are we going to do with it that we can't do with our current ships? That's always kind of the issue. So the Jersey Kinross is still in orbit. It's still like just kind of chilling out there, just running sensors. Basically, it's just keeping an eye on the gate now. They're just kind of a babysitter, listening post as you would. They don't really have anything they can really move around and do. The ship's not built to like pick up stuff, and it's not a very fast ship. The Cryo brand's still in orbit. They're doing their current project has been they're running their centrifuges and trying to like make fuel pellets, like fusion pellets. And they're having some success. So they're slowly getting there. And they think they're on the brink of having their first completed one not too long, but they're trying to see like kind of what the cost analysis benefit of actually trying to make them is kind of an issue. So they're currently on that. But yeah, that's I think that's kind of the stuff going on in space.
Big change down here on planet side.
There's been the fissures are a big thing. There's several fissures that have opened up on the side of the planet as they suspect the blast kind of cracked through it and basically sent portions of the builder tech through. The builder tech they are finding is very fragile. So it seems like the bomb somehow like it didn't break it, but it's kind of like if you like leave a piece of plastic in like hard sun for a long time, it starts to peel and splinter. It's kind of like that. It's still intact. It's just not as great as it once was.
Gravity tether, is it still
gravity
fine?
tether still functioning. And there's some, one of the bigger things is there seems to be several like scientific papers where kind of like talking about what they actually like. So Mel Holson's published some stuff here that's talking about like what she actually thinks, what everyone calls the Holson configuration, which is a term she rejects, does, what the planet's purpose was. And there's some theories going around about how what the gravity tether's purpose is exactly. You're welcome to try to read one of the papers. This would be a physics check though, for sure. It's pretty heavy.
I'm gonna try to read it just to see if I can understand it at all.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check, physics if you have it, or I guess it'd be physics, or astrology possibly, but it'd be physics.
And that's intelligence.
Correct.
13.
13. Yeah, you start reading through it, and you read the abstract, and like the terms is like, what the hell does all this stuff mean? You kind of get a basic understanding that like they know that the moons can position the planet. They know that the planet can do wobbles around the inner planet, that it's somehow aware of where that planet is. And the main thing is that the planet kind of has a mechanism to reorient itself, but they don't know how to control it. It's kind of, they're guessing it's like on an automatic, like just kind of like standby mode right now. And then the back end of it kind of starts going into like some theoretical applications of that, but it gets really heady very quickly. So as far as it like why they think it does this, they're not sure. There's another paper too from Medea Holt and some of the scientists at Star's Edge on the topic of panspermia. If you want to read about that.
Sure, I'll give it a try.
Panspermia. Okay, so give me this would be like a biology test, intelligence biology. I wish I've had a contest tonight. The word than I would have been panspermia.
I got an 11.
Okay. Yeah, like it talks about like the time you guys went to Eos and you basically drank methane and swam in it. But like it doesn't like you're like, what the hell is it? You remember the thing about the proteins? But like it's about that, but you're not really sure what it means. It's still pretty all over there. However, though, you do learn what the word panspermia means. That's helpful. For those at home, there's the link to the Wikipedia article on panspermia. So yeah, there's some panspermic theories being floated around between this planet and Eos. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else is going on? There's some like you can tell about a month ago there was some kind of like there was some people or before the meeting of the conference. Mason's Haven was getting pretty pissed off. Got pissed off at Star's Edge when the information came out that Star's Edge is the one that brought the nuclear weapon down there, or they suspected it basically. All the security people here for the colony were like, we don't have nukes, we never had any of that. How will we even get that here? And Star's Edge just kind of kept quiet on it, and then basically like they accused Star's Edge, and it looks like Pope came clean on it. So
it's good to know.
Their policy was that basically they don't want this planet to turn into another Eos or Eros, excuse me. So they were like, we need to go down there and have like this is like our backup plan. It seemed to work. Yeah, so that's
been better. We would have known before we got down there.
Yeah, and the kind of rationale in that was that they were like they weren't sure if you would accept that. And also, they were also worried how it would go over with Mason's Haven's population, especially since it's heavily Martian, knowing that Earthers had nukes on the planet with them. They were kind of worried about. They didn't want a whole Fallout 3 megaton situation kind of going on. For a bad example, but they didn't want they were worried about the Martians getting kind of pissed off about that. And not acting, not trusting them on it, basically. And so they it was very much that they'd rather ask for forgiveness and permission type situation. So and it seemed to work out okay. Let's see here. What else is in there? There is. I'm trying to think. Yeah, those are the major kind of the major elements of it too. There's going to be a lot more coordination between the two colonies now. There's a lot more open trade. Star's Edge, though, has not fulfilled their portion of the trade, which is basically fusion pellets. But they're also still working on fusion pellets. But you guys won't need fusion pellets for like another year and a half. So it's like, they've shown evidence of them working on it, that they're trying to get it to work and generate it on the station up in space, but like it takes time. They can't just do it overnight.
It makes sense.
So, but you guys have been trading food with them mostly. Some thumper stuff. There's that's been a big thing for them. They've traded over some medical gear, and they've also agreed to take care of the Sinclair crew. You kind of pull some of what the stuff with the Sinclair is. Or what the crew is. Basically, like you can see they cut these like giant like tubes of alien tech out, and they were only able to cut them out because they were so brittle. If it was in normal shape, they would not be able to cut through it, or they would have burned all their tools trying to cut through it. But you do find that there's like they kind of pulled these tubes out, and the tubes kind of have this like weird glows to them, and then apparently as soon as you like disturb the thing, the glow changes color. And then the glow kind of stops and you can pull the thing out. So it's some sort of like they're guessing there's some sort of emergency like isolation system in this tube system. But it doesn't seem to like they pulled everyone out of the tubes, they're alive. But they suspect that like coming out of stasis for that long on the human body is very punishing. They don't think that these things were meant for human anatomy type shit. It's like, yeah.
I guess Wyatt will put down the data pad now because it's probably to the point where it's exhausting me.
Yeah, your arm's a little heavy. It's a little bright. You gotta turn on the lighting on a little bit, yeah. And the nurse comes in and you kind of sit there and she kind of checks you over and everything. And make sure your fluids are good and gives you tests and says, you're looking pretty good. EKG's good. Your, brain activity's great. Look, she's like, just take it easy, okay? Like, walk around a little bit, but if you're gonna stand up for 10 minutes, give yourself 20 minutes on your butt or on your back, okay? Like, make sure you got, and you have like, you don't have any bed sores. They have like really nice, they look, as the future guys, they can make crash couches that you can sit in for weeks. They can do a medical bed quite easily.
Easily.
Yeah. So they've kind of, it's got a little massage on the back and everything. But yeah, they kind of let you like chill out for a little bit here and there. There is going to be the update with Star's Edge later on. Janet does invite you to talk about that. They're actually really curious to talk to you and hear what happened. It looks like she's given an initial report, like kind of what you told her about like the bright light and everything, the web going off, confirms it. They're totally cool with all that. But the question is, what do you want to do and kind of like while you're waiting around? I mean, you're still reading the news. You can get caught up on stuff like that too. McMichaels is on, like he can take a call if you want him to.
Yeah, I'll try to get a hold of the whole Sinclair.
Yeah, you can get a direct link up to him really easily. He comes on and he comes on and he's just like, oh, excellent. He's like sitting in like on the flight deck, and he's like, XO, oh man, oh, so good you're alive, man.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. How's it been being captain for?
Well, it's boring. It's boring. Let me tell you, man. We've just been keeping it up here. We occasionally get some missions to go gather some samples, bring them back. But nothing's going on up here. We keep the engines cut most of the time, just chilling out, trying to conserve the fusion as best we can. But yeah, man. But look, we're glad you're alive. We hear the rest of the crew alive too, but they ain't talking yet.
I hear they're over at Star's Edge with Pope, so I'm not a huge fan.
What's that?
Not a huge fan that they're there alone and I'm here alone, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Yes.
Star's Edge people, they okay, man. They be starting to share up. They're starting to open up to us. That's good. That sharing's gonna go a long way.
Hope so. Well, I just wanted to check in on you. You keep being captain until the real cap comes back.
Yeah. No, we've been keeping up on modal and everything. But yeah, the crew up here, we all good. We got Ralph and Sally back up here now. They got a lot of stories about you guys down there. They tell us about you guys fighting big old monsters and everything.
If you could dream it, we probably fought it down there.
That's wild, man. Well, they don't know what happened to you when you went down that tube, so they're kind of curious. But you gotta get them up to date, man. But look, you wait, you get better, you take care of yourself, and then you come back and you tell us all about it, okay? And we'll come pick you up anytime you want, okay?
Well, that sounds great. And maybe sooner than later, hopefully.
Yeah. No, you bet. All right, Mom. Well, look, you take it easy, okay?
All right, see you, buddy.
All right, so he goes off and everything. But yeah, Janet's got this call in a little bit, so if anything else you want to do before the call, let me know. If not, we can go to the call.
No, I'm ready to I'll slowly try to walk my way to where the call is going to be.
You can do it on the data pad. You can do it on the big screen at a chair, whatever one sounds good to you.
I'd like to move as much as I can to just, if I can go to like a different room, a conference room or something for it.
They have you in here. You're still kind of hooked up to the IV, and they want to keep you monitoring. At least, like, they want to monitor you for about like a day while you're conscious.
I'll realize that as I start to move, and then I'll be like, just sit back down.
Yeah, they just want to. It's just they do have like a portable finger monitor type thing you can put on or whatever it is, or it's kind of like a little headpiece you can wear if you want to walk around a little bit. But yeah, they just want to keep an eye on you for like the first day. It's like, when someone has a concussion, you want to make sure like the first night they go to sleep, stuff like that. So it's pretty basic, just basic medical care stuff. they're not worried about you dying. They're just worried about you like passing out and hitting your head, like and like it's a whole new issue, right? It's not.
I won't leave the room, but I'll go to the table and set up there instead of laying down. Or
so you set up on the table and everything. Janet comes on and says, "So you've been looking through and catching up on the news."
Yeah, there's a lot going on in what I felt like was a short amount of time. Yes, it's not been.
Sometimes we wake up and the world's changed. So, well, look, we're gonna tune in to the medical lead over at Star's Edge, their head of R&D, which is I totally forgot her name or their name. This would be Caroline Arn is their head of R&D.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna talk to Caroline. She's gonna give us updates about what's going on over there, what they're working on, and everything. But I'm sure she'll want to see you and talk to you and hear about. You can give her as much information as you can possible.
Yeah, okay. I will.
All right. No, and she's like, all right. Well, I appreciated all their Wyatt. All right, so the call starts up, and Carolyn comes on. You can see she's sitting in like a room, it's decently nice, like it's clean. She's at a desk, and she says, "Janet, good to speak to you." And Wyatt, excellent to see you up and around. How you feeling?
It's like a bad hangover, but I'm doing okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, I think as Janet has told you, we're currently overseeing the recovery of your colleagues. They're stable. Vitals are stable. A little too stable, we might say. It's taking time for their bodies to reacclimate to this sort of environment. Is best way to describe it. Mm-hmm. You all were in a very isolated environment for a very long time.
Yeah, it's what I've heard.
Sorry.
Do we know when they're going to wake up? Or are you going to try to wake them up, or are you just letting it happen as it happened?
Well, we're worried about inducing further trauma by aggressively waking them up. So we've been kind of monitoring their EKGs. The problem we're having right now is that they are brain functionality is there. It's keeping it's keeping the functions running, but we're not seeing a lot of brain functions beyond just basic things. But it's not like they're brain dead or something like that. It's more of that they're in like a dreamless sleep, if you will. And so we've been slowly trying to introduce environmental elements to try to wake them up. So we've been, Janet's been kind of to provide us some recordings of your respective voices, some nature sounds, sounds of crowds, music. We've introduced some synthetic smells in the room, perhaps to try to jog them. So we're trying some different mechanisms to try to stimulate the environment around them, to see if they'll wake them up. And we're getting a little bit of progress. We've seen a few spikes here and there, but it's a slow process. We'd rather not force it.
I don't want to see a force it and something happen to them. I don't want that at all. So.
But health-wise, 100%. They didn't. Their rescues went a little bit smoother than yours. You resulted in a little bit of radiation poisoning.
I didn't get any superpowers. I'm a little disappointed with that, but
yeah, the other issue honestly, we were a little touch and go there. We had to drag you out from a few kilometers below, a few dozen kilometers from below the surface, and unfortunately, we weren't ready to. That mission was not a search and rescue mission. It was a sample gathering mission, and we didn't think we'd be gathering such a valuable sample.
Glad you guys ended up coming that way. So who knows how long we could have been there.
Yeah. Who knows how long the tubes will last. But yeah, and the tubes are providing interesting information in terms of how they operate, how we think they operate. They're definitely broken.
On the tubes. Did they bring one of the tubes out with them?
Oh yeah, they brought everybody out. Everyone except for you, they brought out in the tubes.
Okay.
And then they slowly kind of like took them out of the tubes, or kind of deactivated the tubes, while trying to monitor them. So it seems like they were kind of like, it was kind of a combination of we want to get the people out of it, but we also want to see how these things work in a laboratory environment. But they're also like, they're not going to be any worse for wear if we bring them across the lab.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like there. You can tell it wasn't the most like altruistic thing, we'll say, but at the same time, they weren't like dicks about it. There's like, we want to see how these things actually function.
No, that makes perfect sense on the science side. I get it. I'm not.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They do tell you that they brought people out in the following order. The first one they brought out was Waxer. They thought Waxer had the highest chance of survival, due to his physiology, and he survived. They then brought out Gaz, and then they brought out Myrtle. Myrtle was the one they were probably the most worried about, due to Myrtle being older, and Earther. So they were kind of concerned about that. But they managed to bring everyone out, and everybody survived. And they show you photos of them all. They're all in beds. It looks pretty comfortable. They're hooked up to machines that are basically monitoring stuff. They're being like hooked up to IVs to keep them hydrated, and they're being like they don't have like there's like some basic functionality there, so like they will like eat baby food basically type stuff, like they're being like kind of spoon fed, but like they'll swallow, but they won't like chew and stuff like that. They're not like in a vegetative state or something like that, because they're not conscious even, like they're not just like automatic, but it's like it's hard to explain. Like they're just kind of not, the lights aren't turning fully back on, or they're turning on very slowly. It's kind of the way it's going.
Well, I'm going to say this: whenever I'm able to leave this room, I'm coming that way, and I'm going to be there beside them.
Well, Janet says that's perfectly acceptable. We want to give you a few days recovery before we have you make the several day trek out to the lab.
Yeah, that's fine.
And everything, and Dr. Arn says, yeah, we'd love to take a look at you, and kind of maybe some elements of your brain functionality can help us understand what's going on with the rest of your crew, and everything too.
I want to know what happened. I want everybody to be good and come out of this better than they went in, hopefully.
Well, look, what would help us too is understanding exactly what happened. So basically, she gives you like a report going on up to like when you guys jumped in the tubes. The two went down there. She's like, so what did you find down there? And if you also if you can explain it to, what did you find down there that you believe would justify Lieutenant Colonel Merrick detonating the weapon?
There was definitely protomolecule down there.
And you had visual confirmation of this?
Yeah, it was on one of the drones that were down there. Is that what we would call them, I guess?
The drones, yeah. And she talks to interesting fact, several of the drones, there were some drones that we were monitoring moving around in the jungle, and they all ceased operation shortly after the nuclear weapon went off.
So maybe we destroyed its main terminal somehow? Disconnected
we think that the protomolecule acts as kind of a sort of a command structure for these things, so basically there's no real processing power, there's no real computational power inside these things unto themselves, and we believe that the protomolecule kind of like acts like that for them. It acts as a how would I put it? It acts as kind of an artificial intelligence for the aliens, essentially, but it's not very creative or bright, we'll say. It's pretty straightforward. And trying to restore functionality, or try to restore functionality to then try to restore connection with its masters, essentially.
So by destroying the protomolecule, we effectively just severed the head.
You severed the head. That's an excellent way of putting it. That's that. We don't have to worry about that anymore. That's definitely a big thing off our plate. The jungle's killed up everything. You had encountered the protomolecule, excellent. And you said it was attached to one of these things, like it was carrying it around, or what do you mean?
I don't think it was carrying around. It was more like just dripping off of it, if I remember correctly.
Dripping off of it.
Months ago, so
this thing somehow was infused with the protomolecule?
I really can't say for sure. I'm not.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because unfortunately, like I said, none of the technology survived. Um, we everything was kind of fried and simply just out of order here. Um, it doesn't seem that your that our technology does the best being coming out of the stasis is what we kind of found. It seems not to function too well, like after going through the emergency of it. That said, though, we're grateful you're alive and everything, and um, but we're glad to hear the confirmation of it. Um, was there anything else down there that you of note that you want to mention before we?
Was there anything else that I can? I don't remember
I
if there was
remember
any.
you do remember seeing like the dripping vines that were down there.
Yeah, I'll mention that.
Okay, you mentioned that. Okay, so that does confirm that like the stuff was infected. Uh, you mentioned this kind of like weird kind of like drone creature. She's like that's what she'd like to hear more about that when you have a chance. Um, she does ask about like Juliana has kind of the reports of you guys fighting the one drones, but fighting this kind of like like hybrid organic one is really interesting. She really wants to hear more about that at some point and just trying to understand what that was. We've seen the protomolecule. We do know that like it doesn't take over technology so much as build its own. But at the same time, we haven't seen it really interact directly with technology of its own of the same origin as it has. So that's really curious that it can somehow re-interface with that stuff. We'd love to have you sketch that up for us, whatever you got. Maybe that can be part of your physical therapy recovery, is having you do some drawings of these things or something like that too.
Yeah, I can do that.
We hear that can be very therapeutic. Uh, so we'll let you do that over the next few days while you still recover. Yeah, Janet goes, yeah, our medical staff saying we shouldn't be moving Wyatt for at least a week in the colony. It's just like, and Dr. Arn says, yeah, I agree. Wyatt, I'm sorry, I know it's hard to be confined while your crew's out here, but trust me, they'll be taken care of. We're happy to provide you daily updates and feeds of their stuff, whatever we can.
Please do that, yeah.
But yeah, I think moving you right now would be a mistake. Your current condition, but we do appreciate your efforts here and stuff too. But well, look, what we can do is we can give you a link up to our reporting software, and if you want to just sit there and start like spouting it off, we'll have our software go ahead and run whatever you tell it into a summary. Don't worry about order too much. Just worry about getting the facts down, and take some time to recover it. If you can draw some pictures, that'd be great. If you have any kind of recountings of interesting facts you have that happened down there, I would love to hear it all.
Yeah, I'll give you everything that I can remember. I'll put in the notes, and I mean, the more information, the better.
Okay. Dr. Richardson, so is there anything about our current operations that we can answer for you that's happened the last few months? We saw you looking through some of the reports, but we're not sure. Is there anything we can clarify for you, or?
I mean, it seems like everything is just continuing to move on without us. I mean, that's a great thing. It means the colony is sustainable. So,
well, one of the and Dr. Keith and Arn kind of give each other a look, and they're like, yeah, well, one of the issues was that what kind of bound us together was that we both sides had lost people. And knowing that like our survival would depend on uniting through this, so we were trying to. That was kind of the initial thing. However, though, there is some issues that essentially now, as it has occurred, only Star's Edge has lost people, and we're down a few. We came down here as a pretty small group. There's only about like 40, 50 people at Star's Edge, where you guys have about 300 people. So they're them being down like 2 or 3 people is quite a bit.
what happened there? Does everybody knows that Case went out doing this like a hero, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that was Stars Edge. We as soon as we found the nuclear material, we knew the case had detonated, and we knew that more than likely case would survive that situation. But he also knew that was the mission as well. And it sounds like you're confirming everything we suspected.
He needs to definitely be memorialized more than we do. Definitely.
Well, yeah, memorials tend to be reserved for the dead, and so I think that you no longer qualify for one. Nothing personal.
Why haven't, with you guys losing more people and your numbers dwindling, why hasn't there been a move to consolidate both colonies into one?
Janet says I can take that one. So it's a simple issue of isolation, packing up things, packing up something, moving it, reassembling it. Each and every single step is a risk of damage. And the worry is that if we do reassemble or Star's Edge reassembles, things may not make it entirely perfectly. So there's some concern over moving the colonies around in that regard. We also know that Star's Edge is currently, if I'm not mistaken, is currently calibrated for their position on the planet. So you're talking they would have to recalibrate satellite networks, they'd have to recalibrate a lot of things. And all that recalibrations is time loss of their research. And from our understanding, they chose their location carefully over when the planet was initially surveyed for optimal research. So moving them is not an option. We currently cannot move because, well, we laid a bunch of cable for a solar panel already. So we're kind of locked in here.
Yeah.
Yes, but that said, though, we are expanding some of the buildings. We brought down the rest of the resources. We have a few more facilities than we did beforehand. The hydroponic system is running as high end as it can right now. We're producing more food than we can consume. There is some discussion. We're in the initial currently discussions of looking into allowing for procreation to make the colony more sustainable. So we're looking into that as well. But we've had a few people from Star's Edge stationed here, and a few people from Star's Edge stationed here, and a few people from our people stationed Star's Edge. So we're definitely sharing more and more as it would be.
There should be. There shouldn't be shouldn't be two different worlds out there.
Well, exactly, and we're all kind of in it together now. Is the issue? So yeah, that's pretty much where we are. Mr. Pope has been still isolated up on top, and his main goal has been trying to generate pellets. There's looking to be potentially more in the next year or so upon completion of initial pellet generation and optimization of the process. Mr. Pope is, and this is Arn talking now, is looking to make more excursions to EOS to mine for methane, but also to harvest methane and also harvest hydrogen out of the atmosphere. So there's a lot of opportunities here. We're moving forward. It's just going to take time.
Yeah. Well, just focus on the crew for now, and please keep me up to date. If anybody wakes up, I want to be the first one to know.
Okay, 100%. Excellent. All right, so the call ends and they kind of get off, and you're sitting there, how you feel about it. They get kind of late.
It definitely feels better about Star's Edge after this than it did going into.
Okay, good. You do kind of you take a day or so here, kind of like recuperate, move around. You bring up the Star's Edge software, recount what you want to, what you can, what you feel like it. They do bring in a newly refurbished arm for you, so you now have another arm. This one is much the same as the last one, with the carbon fiber and everything on it. But yeah, they let you they kind of want to keep you around for a few days, at least a week, making sure you're not gonna like pass out or something like that too. The nurse comes in, does daily tests, they take some blood here and there. They do brain monitoring and everything too. You don't have to be on the IV for the day after the first day, so you can walk around a little bit. But yeah, during the time, do you have any kind of questions about like what?
I know Wyatt definitely wants to make sure that Gaz will get the arm she was promised. So whether it comes from Star's Edge or us, I want to make sure she gets something that's top of the line. And
yeah, they're definitely gonna hook you up. They're gonna make sure they replace every stuff's getting replaced. Star's Edge can produce that pretty easily. They're just much more concerned with everyone waking up and everything. So, but yeah, you kind of monitor what they're doing. They're basically introducing like elements to them, like in the environment. So they're playing music. Some of you have like audio conversations going on. They're doing like they're trying to not just trying to wake them up, it's trying to stimulate the environment around them so they're hearing it. They're finding that the brain activity is slowly coming back, like it's going up there, but it hasn't approached like when you can tell someone's dreaming. It's more of like it's approaching dreaming, but they're not dreaming entirely yet. It's not fully rendered. It's almost like the way they kind of describe it is like it feels like their brains are slowly like like starting up slowly again, if you will. But like they're not trying to like there is talks of like doing like some transcranial magnetic stimulation on them. There is talks of like there's other treatments they think they could do later on, but they want to see, they're hoping like talking to you and seeing what you're monitoring your stuff and see if they can learn a little bit more about what happened, the residual effects.
A few days after, it's been a few days since all this, I woke up. How does Wyatt feel? Like
physically you're feeling pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, there's such as a muscle atrophy. You can start working out a little bit here. There's some muscle stimulants, stuff like that they can help you out with. It's kind of stuff you would take after during a long trip on a Martian ship.
And the radiation poisoning, it hasn't had any major effects on anything.
I mean, you're not. They're saying the sperm count's a little low. They're saying like you might have to like they're gonna check you for tumors here. Like you need to come in and get checked for tumors on occasion. They're not finding any too bad right now. They think they got it from you pretty quickly. But a lot of it's just like keep an eye on this stuff now. Basically, make sure you bring your medical chart with you to your new doctor or whatever it is. Yeah, so it's that kind of stuff they're going on about. But yeah, medically you're doing pretty good. Okay, give me like a perception intuition check. I don't know if you have intuition. If you don't, that's fine.
I do actually.
Oh, okay.
17.
17. Okay. So you go to sleep in the bed, hanging out, whatever it is. They let you out a little bit here in the hallway. And it's like they don't have you going outside yet, but you're kind of hanging out. And you start getting like as you're falling asleep, you start like kind of having like you kind of start feeling like shapes, like you're not seeing them, but you're kind of feeling like as you're kind of falling asleep, like you can feel like there's like these shapes around you, like things kind of in the air around you.
I'll kind of swat at them, I guess.
Okay, you kind of swat at them, and like you're kind of like and your hand kind of like your hands seem ineffective against them, like they're not even there. And you don't even see your hands because your eyes are closed. You kind of feel where they are, but like nothing, you don't hit anything. But you can kind of see these like shapes, and like they start kind of coming to vision. They seem to be like different, like there's like some big ones and there's some small ones. The bigger ones are very round, and the small ones are kind of hard to see. Like they're hard, like you can't make them out. They're super tiny. Some of the small ones are around the big ones. Some of the small ones are kind of out and about in the middle of nowhere between these things. But you can kind of see these different like shapes and everything.
I don't know what to do with that information. Yeah, I'm not. There's nothing. I mean, if I can't see it, I'm gonna try my best to remember it when I wake up.
Okay.
And draw it on
Okay.
the data types.
So you take a second and like you wake up and you kind of draw it on the pad, and it's kind of like these weird kind of like it kind of looks like a kinetic sculpture, kind of like a collider sculpture. So it's like a mobile, type of thing of these different shapes, and they're kind of like there's no lines to them. They're kind of just these different dots and positions, and it's hard for you to kind of like draw them because like positionally to each other, because like you were seeing them kind of move to some degree, but now they're not moving. So it's kind of like working with a static thing. But yeah, you kind of take some time, and like these shapes just feel like they're like, as you draw them, you can still feel like they're still there, but you can't see them as well. Like your consciousness doesn't let you see them anymore. You can kind of remember seeing them, but you can't like see them as clearly as you did earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting.
Do you want to report this to Star's Edge?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I want to report that.
Okay.
That something new that I don't understand. I'd like to report it.
Okay. They take the report in. They take do you want to send the images of what you drew or whatever it is?
Yep.
Yeah, they take. That's really interesting. All right, well, this is good. I mean, it just could be your synapses kind of kicking back in. You're slowly waking up here. Dreams might be kind of flooding in. So, just see if it keeps up or not. And like, maybe when you go to sleep tonight, see if you can try to visualize them again, or if you can distance yourself from them. But just try different kind of things. They prescribe to you some like techniques on trying to like make your dreams kind of control dreams and stuff like that too. So there's some different techniques there and everything. But yeah, you start kind of having this like you clearly remember this vision. It becomes as you're awake longer and longer, it becomes fainter and fainter. You have the image you drew, but like now it's starting to look foreign to you. It doesn't feel like anything you actually ever dreamed or anything.
Okay. I'll try to do my best to remember how to stay lucid during my dream, hopefully this time.
Okay. So you go ahead and you kind of like try to do it again. Give me another intuition check. This is night 2 as you try to like dream again.
Not as good. 9, 10, 12.
12. Yeah, you try to visualize them again as you dream, and like you just can't hold on to it. Like you can feel like one of them kind of center out in there, but like as you do, like everything else kind of fades away, and then eventually just kind of blows away. So it's not there again.
Okay. I'll just keep trying every night or every time I fall asleep to see if I can eventually get it.
Yeah, give me one more roll. So this is like night 4. Night 5, something like that.
Yeah, that's better. 15, 16.
Okay. What you got on the drama die?
5.
5. Okay. So
double 5s if that helps any.
Okay. So you go and you start dreaming again, and you can kind of see the shapes again. You're kind of in there, and you can kind of see like these different images, and like you can see like they're kind of moving around this kind of like these kind of orbits almost. And you can see some bigger ones, you can see some smaller ones, and you can see like packs, smaller ones, like they're scattered around and everything. These huge circles of like scattered rings of like little like pieces. Is there an element of it you want to try to focus on?
The first thing, like whatever the first thing that just seems out of place, I guess. Whatever I would see that just seems out of place from the rest.
Okay. The big ones seem to be kind of like they seem pretty like they should be the small, like the little pieces are these like huge like they're kind of scattered about. They seem out of place. And you go ahead and you start trying to focus on one of those. Give me let me like a willpower check. That would be like, yeah, I'd call it self-discipline. Willpower, self-discipline. I think you have that.
No.
Okay, so willpower, self-discipline.
So I got 4, 8, 10 exactly.
And so you start trying to like go into it, and like you just can't get yourself there. It's just you're not like as soon as you start trying to like focus on it, it just slips your grasp, and everything just kind of scatters, and like you wake up the next morning.
I would say every time he wakes up without, remembering or furthering what I could learn, he's angrier and angrier.
It is frustrating. It is frustrating. So yeah, you go ahead and you kind of like, these dreams are now very present to you. You keep on having this kind of similar dream here and there. You think you might be able to take another shot at it here. You're gonna keep on trying harder and harder. But we'll see. We'll see if you can pull off the delve into this like kind of dream state and everything. I think I'm gonna end the game there tonight on that, because it's kind of interesting kind of point to end it on.
I like it.
All right, cool. Well, that's our short game tonight, guys. We had a little one-on-one session. It's good to kind of hammer out and have Wyatt. Yeah, it's funny because you're the first one they pulled out. So I was laughing that you could make it. What's that?
It's perfect that's how it works out today.
It is. Yeah, I was always weird when this stuff kind of. It's super serendipitous. Well, look, everyone. Hey, thanks for watching for us tonight. We're back next week again. I want to say shout out to all our rest of the casting crew as they survived this week. It feels like that's it. I'm going to be back tomorrow talking Soul System book for the Expanse. I'm very excited about that. If you can, there's some great ways to support us. Please check out our Patreon, check out our Ko-fi. There's a great support us, obviously watching us, subscribing. However that works is great. We'll have us on podcast. And if you want to, please grab some merchandise from Cauldron Tower. I actually updated the code. I forgot I had to change the code. But if you use Gods of the Earth, you can go get 15% off anything in the shop. And I have the Occultist coming out next week, so please jump on our Discord. If you're not on our Discord, I think I remember the code to share our Discord. There's a Discord link. Go and jump on there, and you can see the previews for the new ones. They look pretty dope. This is one of them.
It's awesome.
You want to see the whole thing? You gotta get on the Discord. But we'll be back on Wednesday next week, everyone, and I'll be back tomorrow with Soul System. Scott, any last words?
That was fun. I mean, I didn't expect it to just be me and you, but I enjoyed it, so it worked out great.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't sure what to expect. I had kind of idea of the whole waking up session, and you were the one I wanted to wake up first. I was gonna have you wake up first initially, and just kind of have the rest of the crew, but it worked out better for having you kind of like be the one to wake up initially. So
yeah,
all right, everyone. Well, we will catch you next week. You all have a good time, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Later.